I've obtained over 7 figures in credit using this technique, and for the first time ever, I'm going to go into detail for you on how I find anywhere from 2 to 3 new credit cards per day that I can apply with. This includes personal credit cards and business credit cards. It's not actually very hard to do once you understand the process, and I'm going to break it down for you step by step. Now, I'm not encouraging people to go into massive amounts of debt, but what I am encouraging people to do is to look at the opportunity of using credit to grow and scale your business, to launch your business, to start your side hustle. And the problem with other processes out there that I see is that everyone recommends you go with the same banks: Bank of America, Chase, Amex, etc. But what if you already have credit from those banks? And what if you want to get stacks and stacks of cards so that you can invest in, let's say, your real estate business, e-commerce business, trucking business, or just buy assets that are going to bring you good cash flow? It's up to you what you want to do with the money I'm about to show you how to get, but I would just encourage you to use this process responsibly and invest into assets. Just make sure you don't become over encumbered. Using this process, there's almost no limit to how much funding you can obtain. All right, so let's jump over to my computer and we'll dive right in. Now, let me clarify something super important. The reason this process works is because we work with portfolio lenders. Portfolio lenders are banks and lenders that lend their own money, and they're not going to sell the loan to some third party. When you work with banks that lend their own money, they basically make their own rules. You don't have to fit inside of a little box like you do if you're working with a big national bank or a popular underwriter like Elan Financial or Chase, for example. This will work really well in finding personal credit cards and business credit cards. I prefer business credit cards because they don't report any balances to my personal credit profile. This keeps my utilization low, which means my FICO score, my credit score, stays high. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is decide where you're going to find the list of these banks. I have different sources that I use, and these lists include the top SBA lender list, artificial intelligence sources, AI, the NCUA, which is the National Credit Union Administration, the FDIC, and the Department of Banking and Insurance. So basically, if you open up a credit union or a bank, you have to register it. By registering it, puts you on one of these lists. We then farm these lists to find these little known banks and credit unions that are usually in a good lending mood, they're not too well known, and they lend their own money. All right, so let's start with the credit unions list. I love credit unions because they are for the people. In other words, they're nonprofits and they're controlled by the people, by the members. They also generally lend their own money, which makes them a portfolio lender. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the credit union locator. I'm going to click on address, city, state, zip. I'm going to type in my zip code. Then I'm going to click on find, and it brings up some results. Now, the first result here is Financial Resources Federal Credit Union. When we click on it, it brings up the information, and I have their website right here. On their menu, I'm going to personal and then going to credit cards. I can see that they do offer their own credit card. When I click on apply, it doesn't bring me to another website. This is usually an indication that the credit union is offering their own credit card. These are the type of cards that I like to apply for. Alternatively, I can go to business and click on business credit cards. I can see they have no annual fee, and it says download the application. Now, this is 4 pages long, lots of fine print, but I can actually scroll through it real quick to see if I notice any buzzwords. For example, one of the most common third-party companies that banks use is Elan, E-L-A-N. I don't see any information about that third-party credit card underwriter, so again, it's another indication that this is their own credit card. Now, although I could apply online or email, etc., it's actually best to apply in person. Even though it takes a little bit longer, you're going to have a point of contact at the bank. You see, with these local banks and these credit unions, it's very relationship-based, and it really does help if you have an advocate at the bank to help you get approved. I'm not saying that they're a miracle worker or anything like that, but it does make the process a lot easier. And if you get declined or you have to do a reconsideration request, you actually have someone, a real person to talk to at the bank. So I went into the credit union. I brought my business articles of formation and my EIN letter. opened up a business checking account with the minimum amount required is $100, and I immediately applied for a business credit card. I got approved for a $25,000 business credit card on the spot. So I can tell you from personal experience that this credit union does offer their own cards, and they do them in-house. Many of these local banks do not report your balance anywhere. I find that this makes it easier to go get the next business credit card. Of course, if I'm applying with a bank and they're asking me about my existing debt load, I do need to disclose things properly. But many banks that offer personal credit cards and business credit cards do not ask you many questions. In fact, most of the applications are called no-doc applications, which means they're not asking for your debt load, which is known as your balance sheet, and they're not asking you for financials or tax returns. Again, you want to do things on the up and up, but I just wanted to share with you that information. All right, let's use another one of our databases, the top SBA lender list. We're not looking to get an SBA loan, but we know that Small Business Administration is ranking all the top lending banks that are business friendly. As a business owner, this is a great place to go to find portfolio lenders. But even if you don't have a business, a lot of these small business banks also offer personal credit cards as well. So I found the SBA.gov official website for New Jersey. That's the state I'm in, but I've done this in all 50 states. And I can download the PDF here, and now I'm brought to this list of local banks. Again, many of them are going to offer personal credit cards and lines of credit, and business credit cards and business lines of credit as well. Let's take a look at M&T Bank. I can see that they are a top SBA lender, which is nice that they're recognizing that on their website. And I have their phone number here as well. I can call them, which is recommended to call them. I'll go over a script that you can use, or you can also check out their website to find out what programs they offer. So I found their personal credit cards right here. It says that I can apply online. And again, up to you if you want to apply online or in person. I know it's a little bit more work, but I do prefer to apply in person and build rapport with someone at the bank when I'm applying for credit. I also quickly found that they also offer business credit cards. In fact, I got a $100,000 business line of credit from M&T Bank and a $35,000 business credit card as well. Both of these products that I got were no doc, meaning I did not have to show financials or tax returns when I applied. As usual, talk to the bank, find out what the current requirements are at the time that you're applying. But this is a great method to find no doc lenders. Another bank on the list is Fulton Bank. Let's click on them. I'm on the site, go to small business, under banking, small business credit cards, and I can click on the card that I want, and I click apply now. You could see it now says we're bringing you to a third-party website. So this is an example of what we're not looking for. And it says here the creditor and issuer of these cards is Elan Financial Services. So we know that Fulton Bank, as of the time of this video, is using Elan for their business credit cards. Now that's not a bad thing, and if I don't have a business credit card underwritten through Elan, I could certainly be open to applying for this card. However, this isn't in line with the portfolio lenders that I'm looking for, so for me personally, I'm going to pass on this one. They do offer personal credit cards and business credit cards in my area. Now, I do have more than one business credit card with PNC. You see, the advantage of the business credit world is that if you have more than one business, which I do, and more than one account with that bank, which I do, you can get more than one business credit card from one lender. So again, call each bank, find out what their rules are. But with this particular bank, I have 5 business credit cards. That's 5 times the amount of business credit. As a small business owner, this is tremendous, very helpful. In fact, it allows me to invest more money into advertising, my working capital needs of my business, and just overall grow and scale my business even further. Hi, I was interested in getting a personal credit card. I was wondering what the process was to apply.
I certainly can help you with that. Here is what we can do. We can set some time for you to come in, and I'll help you with an application right in the branch.
Okay. I just have a quick question about the card itself. Is it through a third party or is it your own card?
We don't issue third parties credit card.
Okay.
So we issue our own credit card.
And do I have to open the account first or can I apply without?
No.
Okay.
An account is not required, I mean, do you happen to have some time to come in Saturday? I'm not in the...
Do you need, like, my tax returns or anything?
No, for the credit card, no.
Okay.
I don't need any of those. Yeah. For the credit card, I just need you and some information that I need to take from you. That's all. While you are in the branch, that's all.
Okay, so sometimes you have to call the banks and you just find out some of the basic information. So as part of the script, you would state that you're interested in applying for a credit card. Could be business credit card or personal credit card. Then I ask if it's their own card or if it's offered through a third party. This bank responded that it's their own card. Then lastly, I asked what documents are needed, for example, if they needed tax returns or anything like that, and they responded that that is not needed for a credit card. So based on that information, this would be a bank that I would move forward with, and they were available in as little as a couple of days from now to meet with me and do the application. I could have maybe pushed to see if I could do it online or through email or fax or whatever, but as you know, I do prefer to sit down with someone a little bit old school with these local banks, but you just get so much better results in general if you have a point of contact at the bank. All right, so lastly, let's use AI, artificial intelligence, to find some local banks. I'm gonna type in a prompt. Okay, so with ChatGPT, 2 prompts it took to get the answer that I wanted. I first said, please share with me local banks in central New Jersey that are offering credit cards as of the time you had the data. It gave me a few different banks, but it also reminded me that it doesn't have access to real-time data. I knew that already for this version of AI. So then I went with my second prompt, which is please list a few local banks, smaller banks that you are aware of. That way it's not telling me that it's not actively searching websites. AI has analyzed trillions of data points, so they have the information. You just sometimes have to wiggle a little bit with it to get the answer. So then it came back with lots of great banks like Two River Community Bank, Central Bank, NA, Unity Bank, etc. There are actually banks right here that I've never heard of that I'm just learning about right now doing this. So you can see how this is a pretty straightforward process where every day you could find 2 to 3 new funding opportunities that you did not know of before. And within just a matter of a couple days, you could be getting approved for new funding. If you like what I share with you, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell.